Happy Sunday night, everybody. Welcome to the RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I am Scott Jenstad, joined as always on Sunday nights by Jeff Erickson. If you could please rate and review the podcast, we much appreciate that. Helps people find us, helps people say good things about it. It's always a good thing for the podcast. Jeff, we got 5 weeks left of the season. We are definitely down in the nitty gritty here. How is everything with you?
Everything's good. Everything's wonderful. Looking forward to discussing a lot of baseball right now. Taking a break from wall-to-wall Ashton Genty coverage. What
a wild 8 hours of Ashton Genty news.
Yeah, exactly. It is. You know, I did 4 drafts in Vegas, did an auction when I got home. My football is completely on the brain, which means I need a cure, which is this hour. So I'm looking forward to that.
Beautiful. Well, I look forward to it as well. It's gonna be a fun last 5 weeks here. We got a lot of leagues coming down to the wire, a lot of good stuff. So it'll be good. Major League Baseball, the NL East got interesting the last week and a half. So the Phillies are on fire. 9 wins in a row, playing really good baseball. Crazy win today. They scored with 6 runs off Riley O'Brien. Schwarber walk off in the 9th. Amazing win. Now 2.5 behind the Braves. I guess the Braves played tonight. Did that change tonight?
Braves won tonight against the Brewers.
3 back. Yeah, they won in the Little League game. Yeah.
Yeah, that I was just going to say. That was a fun game. I watched that. I like the tribute to Karl Ravech. I'm a fan. Yeah. Big fan of Karl Ravech. Personal story. During 2020, KBO was the first thing to launch. RotoWire started covering KBO. I did a set of projections. It all landed on me being able to jump on an ESPN broadcast of a KBO game at like 3 a.m. our time. Karl Ravech and Eduardo Perez were broadcasting the game probably somewhere like in a studio, probably in Bristol, I'm guessing, but they couldn't be kinder to me. Yeah. And it means probably nothing to Karl Ravech because he talks to people every single day and all that, but he was incredibly kind and gracious. Both of them were. So hate to see him leaving ESPN. I like that they gave him a fitting send off here with the Little League game and just letting him cover the Little League World Series. You know, great voice of baseball for ESPN for a channel that doesn't cover as much baseball as it used to.
I very much remember you doing that KBO game. I probably taped it and then watched it. I'm not going to give you so much credit that I woke up at 3 a.m. to watch you do a 15-minute segment, but I did tape it. It was fun to see. Those were weird times for sure.
Yeah, as Paul Sporer says, KBO was a fine one of the few good memories of 2020. It was a very good memory. I enjoyed playing KBO DFS. Just having something to watch and made us appreciate that, our love of sport and love of baseball in particular.
Let's very much hope we don't need KBO fantasy next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you feel about the Phillies? I mean, this team is really rolling right now. Like I said, 9 wins in a row, 3 back of the Braves. Both those teams are going to be in the playoffs. They're both like over 95% to make the playoffs. There's 5 teams now in the NL that are over 95 percentile to make the playoffs. So we pretty much know most of the teams is kind of one spot open. But how do you feel about Phillies Braves last 5 weeks? Who would be your pick there?
I think Phillies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of recency bias in that answer, Scott, but I picked up Andrew Painter in a couple of leagues this week. He looked great over the weekend against the Cardinals. Not so great against the Twins earlier, but the thing is, I think we highlighted that the Phillies didn't trade for a pitcher at the trade deadline. They were saying, okay, Painter and Nola are our guys, and both have been better since then.
Yeah,
Nola too, which I've been picking on him a lot in VSiN and prop points, talking like, hey, this is a guy giving up 30 homers this year. This couple of starts have been pretty good for Aaron Nola.
Yeah, I like the Phillies too. I really like what I've seen from Painter. Like 3 of the last 4 starts have been pretty good, really good this week. And he's got a little bit, velocity's up a little pitch mix change. I'm actually a touch worried about Christopher Sanchez. Today was okay. It was 1 earned run, so good there. But 8 hits, 3 walks. The last start against the Cardinals was good, but just he's definitely not been the same guy that he was when he had that huge streak of runs. I'm hoping he can hang out for 5 more weeks. I have him on 2 very important teams. I'm hoping he can just hang in there through the end of the season. I love the pitcher. The 16 wins has been fantastic, but he's been a little more hittable here this last 6 weeks than he was in that incredible stretch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was the it's been a couple of starts, and usually at home he's fine. It's been the road starts that have been problematic. Today it was a home start that was problematic. Gave up that gopher ball to for Minn. That was the one that bothered me the most. So yeah, I'm a little concerned.
His whip is quietly 1.22. It's not the ERA is really, really good at 2.51. His whip is not quite as elite as it was last year when it was 1.06.
Right. So it does make me wonder a little bit for the playoffs. Does it give? I mean, I think Mizorowski is going to win Cy Young anyhow, but
yeah,
it's creating a little more separation there.
I think so too. I agree there. I'm just a little bit worried. I watch a lot of his starts. Like I said, I'm in a couple important teams, so I do watch a lot. He's not been quite the same guy. I hope he can figure it out. Still really good, obviously, but I'd like to see an elite run here to end the season. That'd be good for me and for Phillies fans to see that going into the playoffs. Someone in the chat asked if Spencer Jones should be rostered in all formats. My answer to that would be yes. Looks a lot better since he's come back up, and now that Stanton's pretty much done for the year, I think Jones's playing time should be pretty locked in.
Yeah, that setback for Stanton is worth noting.
Okay, is it wild? By the way, he sprained the other calf.
Yeah,
it's not the same one that he had issues with. I thought he just re-aggravated. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. He completely strained the other calf. It's just, I think it's a wrap.
There's a concept in torts law called the eggshell plaintiff, and Giancarlo Stanton is absolutely it. It's just everything breaks. Whether it's the elbows earlier, the tennis elbows opening a bag of chips thing. Now, I made fun of that. I called him Chip Stanton earlier on, and now I have a shoulder that it hurts all the time I try to open a bag of chips. So shame on me for that one there.
Sometimes karma comes in mysterious ways.
It is. I so earned that one there. Actually, I didn't. It's agony. Don't do that. But the other thing too. But like the calves, I mean, he's had these leg problems forever.
Yeah.
And I dropped both Bellinger and Stanton in one league. Now Bellinger came back this week, so I was wrong on that one there. Yeah. We'll see. But otherwise, it's someone else is going to get that windfall in Bellinger because I dropped him and had the least amount of FAAB remaining. So that was another brilliant play by me and a brilliant season in that league.
I think Jones will sit versus some lefties. They do have a lot of righties on the bench. They bring Goldschmidt in, they bring Elliot Ramos in, but I think he's going to play against all righties, play against a couple of lefties. I think that he's just kind of locked in with that. With no Stanton,
this is just normal development, right?
Exactly, I agree. Yeah. And he's going to strike out a ton. I don't think that, but he's not striking out as much as he did the first time up. Man, when he hits the ball, it's that. You see that ball hit over the foul pole last night? I think it was last night or Friday night.
Didn't see it. Heard about it though.
Frickin' just a tank, like straight up in the air. Like it's a 46-degree launching or something crazy like that. But yeah, it's answer the question. Yes, he should be rostered in all formats. I pick him up. I pick him up a 12-teamer for sure now.
Yep.
Jeff, the AL West officially every team under 500. We finally got there.
Oofda. This is tough. It's tough look. Who's going to win this division?
Seattle.
Is it still? They lost 19-2 or something today, though. I mean, it's just like
it's just messing up the run differential. I don't know. I don't love the other two teams. I just think the Seattle's pitching couldn't get rolling. They're coming around that Arozarena game. Yeah, crazy stat I heard this week. There have been 3 games in the history of baseball where a guy led off with a home run, then hit a walk-off. 2 of them came this week.
I know. I saw that. A buddy of mine texted me on that one.
Is that nuts?
The immortal Vic Power being the other one there.
Yeah, and Pete Crow Armstrong, obviously, and Randy Arozarena this week. Seattle's 3 back of Texas and Houston. It's a toss-up, but if I had to pick one right now, I think Seattle is the one that I'm most confident can get on a run. I don't know if they will. They haven't all year. Cal Raleigh's been terrible. We talked about him plenty, but I think if they get him rolling a little bit, get Julio and Arozarena going, I think that their pitching is going to make a run and get them there.
Yeah. Arozarena had the Tatis game, the bash and snatch.
Yes, he did.
What a catch too. I mean, that one was as good as Tatis's, I think. Maybe not the same sort of gravity, but a ridiculous catch.
Great catch. Yeah, it was a really, really great catch. He had an awesome game. But yeah, the AL West is just it's gross to look at.
Yeah.
We talked about some players here. Carson Benge, Jeff, having a really good rookie year. I feel like it's lost a little bit with how good Weatherholt and McGonigle, and then we get Joshua Baez getting called up. I almost called him Javier Baez. Kade Anderson getting called this week, but Carson Benge been really, really good, especially fantasy wise. Hit 276, 16 home runs, 19 stolen bases, hitting 323 in the last month. Really, really playing well right now. 5 homers. 3 steals less. Hitting 4th for the Mets. I know that Soto's out, but in a prime lineup position, I got to think he's gonna be hyped in 2027 drafts. I think that people, as they sit down and do their research, can be a little surprised by how good Benge has been this year.
I agree. It's because he started off so poorly.
Yeah.
He's been in the highlights recently. The 2 hosing 2 runners at the plate against the Padres.
Got a cannon.
Dude, that second throw, 103 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah, but 19 stolen bases too. That's the thing that kind of jumps off the page. The best thing that ever happened to the Mets was them just giving up, finally admitting that they're not going to come back this year. Just leaving Benge alone, just letting him develop, letting AJ Ewing develop. and that's one of the other reasons why we're not talking him up as much is because he's doing it on a terrible team. But that's fine. It doesn't change the fact that it's been a good year for him. We've seen glimpses of Christian Scott have some development as well. Zach Thornton looks like he could be a big league starter. There are things there that have been positive storylines for the Mets.
Yeah, Ewing's been rough like the last month. He's definitely struggled, but overall, he's got obviously still for a rookie, still doing pretty well. He's got especially in fantasy, got 18 stolen bases, so that's helped us out there. But Benjamin, I think a 21% strikeout rate. You love that the first time through. It only went up a little bit from the minors. That probably maybe comes down a little bit next year. I think he's just a long-term stable guy in this lineup now. They've definitely found him, and I think that 27 draft. I think he's gonna start moving up as people do their research.
Yep, really good rookie class this year. It's
been awesome,
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been so good. McGonigle homered again today. I talk about him too much on this podcast, but I love that dude.
So I might have the first pick in a Stratomatic draft next year. Konnor Griffin or Kevin McGonigle, or other.
So Stratomatic includes defense then, right? And all that. Yeah.
On base obviously matters, all that matters. Weatherholt, you could make a case for. I think you can make a case for Stewart, but I don't think he rises to that level because of the defense is a little less. But
I think in a roto league, I'm going Konnor Griffin just because I think that's stolen base upside. But I think in an all-around Stratomatic league, I think I'm going McGonigle.
I think it's close.
It's close too. I wouldn't argue against anybody doing either way. Obviously, Griffin is a stud. We're a little bit out of mind since he got injured. So should be back first week of September. I started thinking about picking him back up in leagues this week, but I think I go McGonigle. I just love the player.
Yeah, and he'll have a better card for next year too. That's for sure. Just because Griffin's missed so much time, but I'm fearing that I'm missing a Bobby Witt player there if I don't take Griffin. It's like if he's that sort of level of player.
That's a fair point.
Where I don't think McGonigle, as much as I love him, I don't know if he has the same sort of ceiling. But we'll see.
Fifth in all Major League Baseball in WAR right now.
It's pretty damn good. Maybe I'll take. Yeah,
pretty crazy.
I'm sure I'm going to revisit this decision like 7,000 times.
Even more impressive, just to give you props. The fourth player in WAR this year is his teammate Dylan Dingler.
Dingler, yes.
Is that amazing?
Yes. It really is. To me, I think it's just a great year. And, it's not every year do we get these great rookie class, but I do feel like development skills, abilities have improved in the minor leagues. Maybe or maybe it's just a good year for players. We'll see.
Maybe a little bit of both too. I mean, it's been a really good and fun rookie year. Yeah. We talked about the Mets a little bit earlier, sticking in the NL East. Is Cade Cavalli having like the quietest breakout of the season right now? I know the last couple starts have got some attention. He had double-digit strikeouts back-to-back starts, but he's a 3.22 ERA right now, 1.22 WHIP, same as Christopher Sanchez. K rate up is the most important thing here. He's at 18% K rate last year, 27% this year, keeping the walk rate about the same. So the K minus walk rate now is 20%. Even better lately, 1.66 ERA his last 6 starts, double-digit strikeouts the last 2 starts. This dude's quietly in the Nationals, but really been pitching well.
Yeah, he has. And the whip is better from earlier in the season. It was around 1.4 the first month of the season. So he's really been better in that respect lately. I think he has cut down on the walk percentage a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas early on, I think he first 4 starts of the season, 3, 2, 4, 3 walks. And then he kind of righted the ship after that. Had a start against the Braves, 10 Ks, no walks. Really, you started to see it back then, and even in April, you could see that the seeds were, the seeds of this turning around. And keep in mind, Cavalli missed so much time, that we should have expected little hiccups here and there. So he's been fantastic. This has been a successful season for the Nats. Yep. They're not going to make the playoffs. And I'm not sure I would have torn apart some, traded away like a couple of their players that they did, but I think they have a long-term plan in place, and I don't think they had a long-term plan in place earlier. So I think them and the Cardinals. I think there's been a lot of positive developments for these two teams that even if they don't make the playoffs, you can consider this season a success.
It's very clear they have 2 superstars on offense with Abrams and James Wood. And then, Dylan Cruz has been better since he got called back up. And we mentioned Cavalli, and obviously they traded Foster Griffin, probably a good move. He wasn't signed, so get something for him while he's there. But you're right. They're starting to put together the pieces of a pretty fun and young and good team.
Yeah, they are.
And you're right on Cavalli. 7.4% walk rate in the first half, 6.0 so far in the second half. So he's improved there as well. It's good.
6.0 is a great rate.
Really good. Yeah. So his K- walk in the second half is 25.1%. I know we're just out of the All-Star break, but that's a month in. That's insanely good. That's elite stuff right there.
Yep. And Uncle Ted mentions Abimelech Ortiz had a little bit of a rougher week this week.
Yeah, I was going to say he was like 1 for 25 this week. So, but yeah, overall he's clear that he has some pop.
Well, that was part of the Mackenzie Gore trade, and we'll see about the other 4 prospects. They got 5 prospects, all like top 300 prospects from the Rangers in that deal. If one of those other guys pops, then that's considered a successful trade too, because Gore has just been good, merely good, maybe even something, somewhere between okay, fair, and good, because he's had his moments and he's had his other moments with the Rangers. Certainly hasn't taken a step forward.
Can we just have Mackenzie Gore just pitch at home? Is there a way we can work out that schedule?
I wish we all, when we all wish to pitch just in San Francisco, Seattle, San Diego, and Texas, right? Yeah,
2.99 at home, 5.42 on the road for Mackenzie Gore. That is about as drastic a pitching split as you can get.
Yep.
Moving over to the NL West, as I was looking through some numbers today, Gabriel Moreno has had a really, really good year. He leads all of baseball in RBI since in the last month. He's got 30 RBIs in the last month, hitting 306 after today, 10 home runs, 55 runs, 64 RBI, 5 stolen bases too, tossing them from the catcher. This is really good. He's been just great across the board.
Yeah, he has. At a time when we kind of given up on the power ever coming, and then it does. And also at a time when the Diamondbacks are kind of going crazy right now with Ketel Marte. So for him to be kind of stepping up and helping carry this team, it came at the right time. It's just an odd team. You look at, the starting pitching investments. Corbin Burns got hurt, obviously. Zach Gallen bringing him back has been an unmitigated disaster. Merrill Kelly hasn't been that good. But then, they get Brandon Pfaadt, who's been amazing since getting called back up. You get Moreno stepping up his game a little bit there.
And Erod's got a 2.6 ERA. I mean, that's nobody could have predicted that one.
Yeah. It's really crazy. We do have Erod in a couple of teams. One of them, though, I still had benched in one league. I don't know why. I guess I guess I was deep a little bit there, but still, They have an NL West problem. Obviously, the Diamondbacks do.
Yeah.
Although
San Diego's been hot, they're still only 2 games behind them somehow.
Yeah, I know. Well, the Dodgers all of a sudden decided to start winning again too, which is bad news for them.
It's nice when you get to go to Coors Field and kind of work on your losing streak there too.
Yeah, but then they turn and then get the Pirates, who have not been the same since the All-Star break. Also there, but you tug on Superman's cape and he starts to fly again.
Yeah. Suddenly they won 6 games in a row before you blink.
Yep. Padres, though, have a 2-game lead over the Diamondbacks for that last wild card spot. I mean, all of a sudden that the NL wild card, it's like there's been a lot of separation.
Yeah.
You can see that the true contenders there's maybe the Marlins as the 5th team that's contending, but the Cardinals have dropped off. Getting swept by the Phillies had a lot to do with that. I mean, they can't play the Reds all the time where you drop routine fly balls like Jeff McNeil upfield skills there to save your season.
I felt bad. You were driving to Vegas for football stuff, and I texted you that. I didn't know if you're watching or not, but it's about as bad a way to lose a game as when you get it's not a routine fly ball, but for a major leaguer, a pretty routine fly.
Well, it was funny. I hadn't yet left. My daughter went back to Pepperdine this weekend, so I went to go grab coffee one more time with her before I took off for Vegas for work, just so we could have a little bit more just one-on-one time there.
Right.
And then we had it on in the car on the way back. They had gotten the second out in the inning, so I go, okay, this is good. Turned off the car, walked in. I was talked for a couple seconds. Finally, I'm going back to pack, turn on the TV back on. The inning's still going on. That's your first bad sign.
Yeah.
And then I saw the replay. I'm like,
it was brutal.
And then they scored 6 more runs on top of that. And the Reds got all the way back to 10-9, and then had a deep fly ball to the warning track by McLean with the bases loaded, and it got caught to end the game. Such a tease. Such a perfect finish to the Reds season, because they're done. I mean, minus 94. They should never have even been in the wild card discussion, but they're done.
They're done. 5 teams ahead of them, 9 games back. They're unfortunately done. But moving over to the AL, I knew that Peyton Tolle had been good. I wasn't quite sure how good he's been. He's been really, really good. 308, 108, and 120 innings. He's got a 21% K- walk. This guy's going to be a huge hype guy in the offseason. Everybody's going to start to look at his numbers. He's going to move the board really fast next year.
Yeah, he is. He is. Check out the home road splits. They're really interesting because his ratios are actually better on the road, but his strikeout rate is infinitely better at home than it is on the road. Like to the extent I wonder, like, is there something about his delivery that makes it particularly tough to pick him up at Fenway? Because you don't usually see such extreme splits in strikeout rate.
Wow. It's 33.6% at home and 21.6% on the road. It's wild. Wow. That is, I was going to say it's skewed because he had that game where he struck out 74 of the A's, but I guess that's even a little more where one game can't skew it. But wow, it's a wild. Yeah, his K-minus walks 27% at home, 15% on the road.
Anytime on prop points, when I see him on my list, I see his game. I mean, that's the first thing I do is look at the strikeout prop, home or road, and play the under on the road and play the over at home. It's pretty reliable.
BABIP at home is 326, on the road is 241. So that's been huge for keeping the ERA down the road. But that's a really interesting. I wonder. You might be right. Maybe there's something at Fenway, or maybe he gets fired up by the home crowd. He's kind of a fiery guy. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they love him. It's great.
They do. Oh, they do love him. He's a fun dude.
Yeah.
Sticking in the AL, how do you feel about Wyatt Langford going forward? I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be really interesting trying to figure out in the offseason. I know he's had the injury issues. We kind of do know that, but he's been on the field now for the last month. It has not been good. He's hitting he's hitting 171 the last month. Overall now at 247. Does have 14 home runs, 10 stolen bases. But the thing I look at him is hard hit rate's down about 9%. It's down under 40%. It's always a number where like your hard hit starts with a 3. We got some problems if you're going to be any kind of power hitter. Barrel rate's been cut in half from last year, 14% last year. We really like that, down to 7.4%. I'm worried about the injuries with Langford, but now I'm kind of worried about production as well.
Yeah. We have a note. August has been a cruel month for Langford.
It has.
That's never great.
Yeah.
If I'm the Rangers, I might dial down that humidor a little bit there.
I was going to say moving the fences, but yeah, dial down the humidor would work as well. Uncle Ted mentioned it's a really bad park to hit and a really good park to pitch in.
Although, ironically, Langford's been better at home than on the road. 811 OPS at home, 735 on the road this year. But yet, I see Langford struggles. I see, Evan Carter struggles. And both have been health issues too with both of them. But, you look at Jake Berger and his home road splits. You just look at it. I think, just extreme ballparks make it tough on teams.
Yeah.
Whether it's an extreme pitcher's park, which means it's tougher on your hitters, or Coors Field, which makes it tough to develop pitching. I really do think it sets teams back a little bit there. It's hard to win in an extreme park.
Yeah. It's have you been to that park?
I have not. I haven't been to any of the incarnations of the Texas parks.
I really liked the ballpark at Arlington. That's what I called when I went there. I really like that park, but I have not been to the new one.
Yeah. I want to go on a ballpark tour. I've been focusing on states lately, although sometimes you can kind of two birds, one stone with that.
Right.
But I'm at 48 of 50 now. I just need Delaware and Alaska. But, I do think that
I'm trying to visualize how you're going to make a trip just for Delaware.
I'm gonna incorporate.
We did a road trip in the East Coast. And we incorporated a quick Delaware stop just for that. I think for that reason.
Yeah, I think I'll go to Philly or I'll go to DC and then I'll make a day trip out of it. I hear they have great beaches, some good Italian food. So anyways, I'm getting far afield here.
48 to 50 is pretty good though. That's impressive.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. There's a couple that are janky in there, but my rule is it can't be a layover. It has to be actually foot on the ground.
No one's rule. Anybody has a layover rule in there is they're just fooling themselves.
Right. But there's some very glancing blows in there. But I have another comment with Langford, and that is he's another bullet point, another data point in the notion that so many players this year have really struggled after coming back from injury.
Yep.
Really struggled, and more so than I think another.
It's a really good segue, by the way, too, just as a tease.
Yes. So maybe it's something something to look into to see if this is maybe I'm just noticing it more this year, or maybe it's something that we need to kind of dig into a little bit more to see are players coming back too soon? Is baseball harder now, and so when you're less than 100%, it really shows? I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you thought maybe guys just come back too soon, trying to rush back and not fully healthy. That leads us really well to our next guy. We talked a lot about first-round pick busts, and we've talked about Vlad. We talked about Tatis when he was one. He's not one anymore, by the way. 2 more home runs today. He's been on fire. But Jose Ramirez has not homered since he's come back off the IL on July 22nd. He's now at 10 homers, 39 RBI, in 419 plate appearances, too. So I know he missed some time, but that's still a pretty good chunk of time for Jose Ramirez only to have 10 home runs. Has not homered since back. I can't fathom he's healthy right now.
I can't either.
Yep.
I think so. Well, and it was a hamate bone, right? So
yep.
How many times do we see that, where there's enduring effects after a player comes back? Lindor really struggled after coming back. Corbin Carroll kind of was the opposite of that, but Jackson Holiday really struggled. Took forever to come back also. You go back in previous years, there's been players that have really struggled coming back from broken hamate bones. There's like the rare, like 3 week, oh, I'm fine, and all that happens, but I think it probably has to stem from where it's broken, all that. But there's a lot of those. There's really a lot of those type of players coming back from hamate bones that have really just not been the same. And they're trying to help the team. You don't want to, obviously the Guardians are never going to say, no, you're hurting us, you can't come back. But he's hurting him. He shouldn't have come back.
He is. I mean, it's been really rough since he came back. But do you think there's as we do drafts next year, you think it's like, oh, he just never healthy last year, we're fine? Do you think we start? Do you think he gets moved down in drafts? Do you think we're looking at a second rounder next year, or just? I think it's going to be a toss away 2026. He is 30. Will be 34 years old next year, and never a huge hard hit rate guy, but always kind of gets done. He does have 29 steals, so he still kept that part of the game. But as he gets older, you figure that goes away. I just wonder. It'd be an interesting price guy next year.
There's some more. There already was some downward trajectory at live draft weekend for the main event on Jose Ramirez. I think he will drop to the second round. I think he should be taken early second round still. But if he does drop, I'll probably click on him. But I think there's others that will probably go ahead of him in the first round, and I think it's probably logical and justifiable.
Pick 14 in the meatball draft to Ryan, our friend Ryan Bloomfield.
Okay, and see that, and the thing is, all it takes is one person to change that trend. And granted, it's one draft, but we'll get more data points out there. We'll find out some reporting, hopefully, at some point too, saying, "Oh yeah, his hand was really bothering him for those last 3 months."
For people to know, the meatball draft, our friend Rob DiPietro does. They actually do a draft that actually is a real draft. That's money that plays out. They draft the first 15 rounds. They did it last week. Then in the offseason, they do the next 35 rounds for a draft champion. So there was a 15 round draft actually looking at for drafting for next year this week. So crazy they do it, but it's fun.
Do you think J-Ram's running more because he's not hitting for power?
Yeah, it could be kind of trying to make up for that, but. I don't know. I want someone to read up on. Like you said, if there's some reports that he just was never healthy, but I do. The power scares me a little bit, to be honest.
It does. It really does.
Konnor Griffin in the meatball draft, by the way, the 1-2 turn. So there's gonna be a lot of helium on that one. Yeah.
Where did McGonigle go?
Oh, that's a good question.
Griffin over McGonigle and Roto. I get that, but
yeah. Pick 3.6 to your colleague James Anderson.
Still really good.
Yeah.
Still really good.
Yeah. And then Weatherholt was middle of the fourth round.
Yeah. Hey, one other note on J-Ram. Uncle Ted says third is a weak position. I'll acknowledge that. I think one of the things we need to remember is that pushing up guys at weak positions doesn't necessarily work. It certainly did not work this year at both second and third base. We were better off just taking what we got instead of pushing up because out of fear for the diminishing returns at that position.
It's been a rough year there with J-Ram, with Austin Riley, but then we got McGonigle's third base eligible. Miguel Vargas
he wasn't on draft day though.
He was not. Miguel Vargas has been awesome at third base.
We didn't push him up though. That's the thing. We got what we got with Vargas. That was the point.
I'm just looking at the top guys in WAR there. Max Muncy has had a good year. Junior Caminero, but it gets thin pretty quick. Alex Benjamin's been good lately, but it's not been a great year for third base. Sal Stewart is eligible now, but was not when we drafted, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. I'm pulling up main event ADP because I think I want to go by that measure. And because I think that's our list. I mean, Caminero obviously worked out fine. J-Ram,
he's pretty good, by the way. Yeah.
He's good at baseball. Yeah. J-Ram did not work out fine. Jazz Chisholm did not work out fine. I mean, he's not.
It's been bad though. That batting average is rough.
Manny Machado, I personally pushed him up in the main. I screwed that one up. Did not work out fine. I picked him at 43. It was a terrible pick. Austin Riley did not work out. Michael Garcia did not work out. Eugenio Suarez did not work out.
Nope.
Bregman, not really worked out.
He saved it last month or so.
Yeah. Bo Bichette did not work out. He wasn't third base eligible on draft day though. Same with Sal Stewart. Sal Stewart is the only, but Sal Stewart is okay. We found someone that worked out. Sal Stewart, yay! Good for us. But look at that. Matt Chapman did not work out. Noelvi Marte Good times being a Reds fan right now, guys. It's the third base was just an utter disaster this year. I mean, it's eye-opening how bad it was, Scott.
But your point is right. Like, it's been bad, but if you pushed it up because you're like, I'm worried it's bad, the guys you pushed it up to have been bad as well.
Yeah, so those were losing decisions. Let's look at second base. Same thing. Jazz Chisholm here again, second eligible at draft day. Ketel Marte was fine, but was definitely not a win at 53.
By the way, if you're not with the team, don't go to the casino during the game.
Jeez Louise, that was terrible. Oh my God.
I know he did his medical, he's done, but like, that's such a bad look.
But we finally had like people on record complaining about the manager complaining about it there. Torey Tavello. I mean, good for him for actually speaking out, because it seems like they were coddling Marte for a long time and he had enough of it there. He might be speaking out of turn, but good for him for doing it now. Bryce Terang did work out. Okay, that one's been that's okay. Nico Horner, low-key disaster. He has run, but he's not hit at all. Raffaello, okay, that one did.
Stud.
Keschall didn't look like he worked out. He's been better lately.
Yeah. I said really good. He's at like 330 last month, so he's turned it around a little bit.
He's trying. Matt McClain. Jose Altuve. Ozzy Albies. Okay, that one's been fine. Stott. He was terrible early. I think he's made it up to stagger a little bit, and he can stink at two different positions now.
And he's got 23 steals, hitting 260. That one's probably not killed you. Yeah.
No, he's fine. Actually, I'm looking at his numbers now. He's actually already achieved his counting stats from last year.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was the projection on the page there.
Look
Xavier
at that.
Edwards, all the way down at pick 200. You're finding a profit though. Okay, that's fine. But point is, again, if you advance these guys, you're getting hammered.
Look at 15, 16. Brandon Lau, JJ Weatherholt. Whew.
Yeah, you waited. You did well.
And Luis Garcia was the 22nd guy taken at second base. So it was a good spot to wait. Arise is down there. Ernie Clement's down there. Yeah,
Ernie Clement. That's another guy. That's Ernie Clement, man. I mean, he
plays like
one of the leading all-star guys just because Toronto people are crazy about him. Yeah. But anyways.
He plays a lot, but just really does. He is hitting 286, so I guess he's helped the batting average. But 9 home runs and 5 steals is tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see how much he's loved. Anyways, okay, I sidebarred that one pretty long there, so sorry about that.
It's good. Hey, it's fun. We're talking baseball. It's a good thing. Everybody in the chat's talking about it too, so it's good. Let's look ahead to this week. We do have 6 teams with 7 games, although just to note, 4 of those have doubleheaders, so maybe you don't get quite as much playing time there if guys sit one half of that. But we got Boston, New York. Interesting enough, Boston, New York have a 4-game set Friday through Sunday next week. So they play 4 games in 3 days. So over the weekend, that's a really good setup for them. Washington, Arizona, Colorado, and the Giants also have 7 games. On note on Colorado, they are all on the road, so you don't get any Coors Field this week. Also, the Reds are on the road. However, the A's, the Athletics with no city name, home for all 6. 3 against Minnesota, 3 against Baltimore. Should be good for their hitters that are still standing.
Geloff. It's good for Geloff.
Good for Geloff, Max Muncy, Carlos Cortez. It's crazy. All the fun hitters on the team, we were excited about the team. They're all out for the season. All of them.
So sad.
Kurt Soderstrom, Langoliers, Jacob Wilson. They're all Brent Rooker. They're all done for the year. I know it's late in the year. We're still in August. They're all dwhen it's wild to have that many offensive players just done.
Yeah, it really is. And when it's formally fun. That's a real bummer. Really, just especially when you think you have something, you got to win with the Langoliers pick, for instance. There, and that blows up in your face. Ugh, gross.
Yeah, so they are home all week. Good for them. Also good for Twins bats on the front end. Good for Orioles bats on the second end. We'd like to attack A's pitchers for sure. Good Nationals week this week. They're home for 7, 4 against Colorado, 3 against Miami. That is a nice setup right there.
It is, and maybe Abby Ortiz has a good bounce back week after last week. I mean, he went to Texas for one of those series there, so it explains a little bit of it.
And Colorado's throwing 3 out of 4 righties against them, which helps Ortiz as well. Yep. And then Miami's throwing 3 righties. So not only is it a great week on the schedule, but they get 6 righties too. So really nice setup for Ortiz.
Yeah, it is.
Yankees really good setup this week too. They are home for 7. I did mention that they had 4 on the weekend, so they have 3 in the first half of the week against Houston, then 4 against the Red Sox. That Yankees Red Sox series, that's a low key, really really big series this weekend.
It is. Yeah. Although you can never low key Yankees Red Sox.
Fair enough. I knew, as I said that, I'm like, it's Yankees Red Sox, but it's a huge series. I mean, one of those teams is you get like a 3 out of 4. That's really gonna be big in that race.
Well, especially because the Rays have looked pretty mortal lately too.
Yeah. I mean, you look at run differential. Rays are at 44. The Yankees and Red Sox are both right around 100. So they've been beating them there. But I mean, all three of them make the playoffs. But getting that top seed, whoever wins the East can be the top seed. Obviously, they have 3 teams in the East with 70 wins. Nobody else in the whole AL has 70.
Well, think about this too. One of these teams is going to get a bye. And then after that, they're going to get
right.
Yeah, the way that they don't reseed after the playoffs either. So, one of these teams like the Rays are probably going to have to face the winner of the top wild card team versus the AL West division winner, which will probably be like Yankees versus the AL West division winner. Could be the Yankees. So the Rays will have to face the Yankees in their first series. So that's why this Yankees Red Sox series takes on even more heat.
Huge. So is this winner of the Central is going to get a bye then, huh?
Yeah, the White Sox are going to get a bye.
Assuming someone in the West doesn't get hot.
This is not the first by far. It's not even close to the first time that a wild card has had a better record than 2 or 3 seed.
It doesn't seem often that all 3 teams in the East are better than everybody else. So that's a step right there.
It is. Yeah. It really is. And last year it wasn't the East; it was other divisions, I think.
Yeah.
But it just show that there can be some inequities in this system.
That it's interesting that the whoever plays. So the Braves could play the Phillies in the first round then, huh?
Yeah.
Or I guess they play the Cubs and their Cubs are right in that mix too. That the National League playoffs are going to be awesome.
They are. They really are. The
worst team is 11 games over 500 right now.
Yeah, I know. There are some really good teams in the National League this year, and that shows in the interleague records and things like that too.
Yeah. Someone asked in the chat. Yeah, the White Sox would get a bye because they'd be the 2 seed because they're the second highest record for a division winner. The division winners have to get buys. So
2 years ago, led baseball in losses by a wide margin. Now they're going to get a bye in the playoffs.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I guess one of the teams in the West could get. I mean, the White Sox are only 6 over 500, so a team in the West could get hot. But right now, if it were to end right now, the White Sox would get the 2 seed and a bye, which is pretty wild there. So
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about news and notes and then jump into FAAB. But first, a note from our sponsors at Circa. Circa Million 8 and Circa Survivor are going big for the 2026 football season with $30 million in guaranteed prizes. Cash in this football season in Las Vegas with 3 Circa sports contests, entries starting at $1,000 with no rake. The Circa Million is 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 different ways to win. The winner in that takes home $1 million. Then we have the famous Circa Survivor. Pick one winner each week, your regular Survivor game. Last one standing wins, $20 million guaranteed to the winners. Last year was $18.7 million, so it's been up from last year. $20 million to whoever survives that one. And then you also have the Circa Grandissimo, which is $100,000 entry. Same rules as Circa Survivor, just with a much bigger entry fee. But awesome contest there. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com/contest for details on that.
I'll be at Circa this upcoming weekend. Nick Whalen and I will be. Also, Alan Sosowski is, this will be like the 4th year that they've flown us out there to help promote the contest, do some shows from there. Really looking forward to it. They are big fans of fantasy generally. Also,
awesome. That's great.
I can't speak highly enough about Circa. Can't wait to go back out there.
Yeah, I've been watching that YouTube documentary they do on the Circa Survivor. It's been fun. I'm right at the point now where Thanksgiving's about to hit, where all the favorites lost, and it should be a fun episode. Yeah.
Yes, I could go off on that for a while, but I won't.
Did you move to Vegas? Not tell me. Are you going 3 or 4 weekends?
I am, and we gotta plan out, by the way, because you're going, right?
I will be there the first week of the football season, so whatever that.
Yeah, week 1, same as last year, right?
After Labor Day, not the Labor Day weekend. Yeah, the weekend after.
Right. So we all have to do Lotus of Siam again.
That is a definite right there.
Yes. All right. Very good.
Nice. So a few weekend news notes. I want to jump into FAAB, but just a few notes. Andy Pages in Los Angeles, their center fielder, fractured hand, and he got hit by a pitch. I think it was on Friday. Out 4 to 5 weeks. So that's in our fantasy world. That's obviously an automatic drop right there. That's a tough one. Pages is having a really good year.
Yeah, he is. That is a really tough one there. And if you're the Dodgers, you want to have they're all about peaking at the right time. This is the opposite of that. They finally got some of their offense back, and now to lose Pages like this, tough spot indeed.
It is. Bummer for this one for me. Ryan Weathers has been pitching really well, especially really well as of late. His ERA is in the 1s over the last 6 starts. Had a really good year overall, but 15-day IL. He came out of the game It was one of those things like he threw a pitch and just kind of walked off. So you knew something was going on there. But his UCL is intact. They did an MRI. He's optimistic about pitching again this year. But if he does, it'll be in relief. They're shutting him down for 2 to 4 weeks. For fantasy purposes, we're talking about he's an easy drop as well. I had to drop him in the main event. It's a tough drop in a 15-teamer.
Yeah, it is. It is because you definitely scored with him this year. It's interesting. He and Will Warren kind of started off on the same sort of track, but Weathers has, eclipsed Warren lately in terms of output there. That's a tough one for the Yankees because they got Rodon back. They're kind of like in that spot now where they were kind of like, okay, we've got our rotation going, and now they have to kind of start over again. I'd
love to see him, and you obviously won't be starting, but I'd love to see him as like a 2-inning pure gas it out guy in the playoffs. I think Weathers could be a weapon doing that in the playoffs.
Yeah, I kind of thought the Mariners might do that with Kade Anderson, but they are not.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, but although with Weathers, if you had told me at the start of the year you get 137 innings, I would have signed up for that in 0.2 seconds. So
that's true. Good point.
There are times where I complain, but like if you give me 137 innings at a 3.6, 1.2 from Weathers where I took him, I think I would have signed up for that. So it's a bummer to lose him, but it's been a really good year for Weathers.
And it's not like you're taking a 0 in that spot for the rest of the season. You're going to replace him with someone else.
How do you know? I might just be leaving in there for posterity's sake.
No, you're not the rogue drafter, so I know you're not doing that.
We have one of those in our main event. It's been a while. We got to talk about that at some point. It's insane. I just don't think he knows the rules, but it's crazy. Brendan Donovan and Kyle Karros both went on the 7-day concussion IL, particularly problematic for Karros. He just come off it. So he's back on the IL there. So obviously if you have them, get them out of your lineup this week. Jeff, we mentioned the Nationals earlier with their 2 superstars. One of them, obviously James Woods on the IL, but one of them missed the last 4 games. He missed his 4th straight game on Sunday with a sprained left ankle. Obviously a concern there. The Nationals are not playing for anything at this point. Not going to make the playoffs. They have really no reason to push Abrams. I'm sure he's going to want to come back, but that's one you just definitely got to check because that's a concern right there. And there's not talk of putting him on the IL yet. They have to miss 4 games. I always worry about that a little bit.
The other wrinkle on that one too is he's kind of fighting the move to second base.
Yeah.
Also, so I don't know if that is tied to that, but it's certainly he's not happy about it.
And we mentioned their schedule are really great this week. 7 home games, Colorado, Miami. They do play tomorrow, obviously, with the 7-game schedule. So that's one that you got to check out to see if he's in the lineup and then decide what to do. That's going to be a tough call if he's not in the lineup tomorrow. And they do maybe he's coming back soon. That's going to be a tough call.
At least there's no day games tomorrow. So we'll have their lineup by the time you make your lineup decision.
For sure. Bryan Woo had an interesting note. We mentioned Seattle earlier. He threw a bullpen on Sunday, was encouraged, but then the next line was there's no decision on when he's going to pitch next. He got pushed back, then he's missing a start. It seems like kind of unclear. And his quote was like, I was never worried about missing the rest of the season, which was a weird quote for something that was supposed to be a little quick pushback. So I don't know when we're going to see Bryan Woo again. It doesn't sound like it's going to be long, but I'm not sure when that's going to be.
It's very Judgian.
Yes.
We hope he'll be able to play this season. What?
Yeah, you hate those quotes.
We didn't think it was that serious. We thought it was like a oblique strain. Yeah.
And it was kind of like tentatively like he's going to pitch Wednesday after Gilbert and Kirby go Monday and Tuesday, but they haven't named a starter yet. I think I got to bench him this week. I don't trust that's not going to be a 0.
I'm with you on that one there.
Griffin Jax coming back from his injury. 3 innings in a rehab start today. Didn't pitch great, gave 3 runs, but got a bunch of some swings and misses. The velocity looked like it was pretty good. So up in the air whether he's going to come back and pitch this week or maybe one more start. If he did pitch this week, it'd be this weekend against San Diego. I picked him up in a spot. I think I'm going to sit him this week and kind of see how it plays out and then maybe hope to deploy him the week after.
This strikes me, especially because of who it is. It is a 4.5 inning, 4 2/3 inning start there. He only threw 42 pitches.
Yeah.
So, I think you have to sit him this week.
I think
unless
so
they have
too.
an opener in front of them.
Yeah, I think you do too.
Which
I think you're looking.
Know.
Yeah, we won't know, especially if he pitches the end of the week. We just won't know there. A few other quick notes. Jac Caglione, we've talked about him a lot on the podcast. We love him. Missed Sunday with some ankle soreness, which I really wouldn't worry about, except he missed time with that earlier this week as well. So now it's like a lingering ankle thing. So that's another one to definitely check what's going on there as lineups come out. They don't play tomorrow. They're at Toronto on Tuesday. So that's one you got to kind of keep an open spot there. If he's playing, you want him in, but if he's not, you got to have somebody else that can play there as well. Willy Adames getting an MRI on his left elbow. He left earlier today. He heard it sliding into home, so that's one to definitely look at as well.
The quote wasn't very good on Adames either.
What was it?
Let's see if I can fish it out there. But it was definitely one of those where
we hope he plays again this season.
It wasn't that bad, but
all right.
I'm trying to see if I can find it here real quick while we're talking because this makes great radio here talking about that. But it was a really interesting it wasn't that positive of a quote.
Yeah, I saw. He said last at bat, I felt it was more painful then after and then sliding in. So like the fact that it got worse and swinging made it more painful. That's didn't seem. He just come back from a sore back too. He said his back felt good. He homered on Saturday and then this. So that's it's not great there for the Giants.
No.
A couple of positive notes real quick. Kyle Stowers expected to be activated on Monday, so get him back in your lineup. Tyler Glasnow coming back for the Dodgers, scheduled to pitch on Tuesday. If he does that, it will be at Atlanta, but then he pitches again on Sunday at Detroit. Are you throwing Glasnow back in fresh out of off the rehab outings?
I might.
77 pitches last outing, so I think I will. Yeah,
I think I will.
Yeah. Dodgerland, Will Smith starting a rehab assignment on Tuesday. Also, fellow catcher Kyle Teal also starting a rehab assignment on Tuesday. I thought both of them were interesting pickups this week. If you could, maybe you got to take a 0 for a week, but with some of the catching dregs out there, it couldn't have been too bad. And then Roman Anthony moving up to AAA for his rehab assignment. Seems like we're getting closer to the magical Roman Anthony return, Jeff.
It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. It's just set up for him to hit 6 home runs in September and be a third-round pick again.
My AL MVP ticket's still alive, Scott.
Still alive. I mean, he'd probably have to hit like 43 home runs in September.
In a row.
You never know. Yeah.
In a row.
Joshua Baez almost did it, so we're good. We can get there. Let's talk a little bit of FAAB. Obviously, the big news this week was Kade Anderson getting called from Seattle. Made a start on Saturday, so we got to see it. That slider was as good as advertised. Looked really good there. Got a little bit hit up in the last inning or two of his outing, but looked really good. He was the big free agent. I mean, Mark, if you needed a pitcher, the bids were really big this week. How'd you feel about Kade Anderson? Were you super aggressive? Do you like him to be good right now? We're not looking at 3 years from now. Obviously, he's a huge prospect. We need him to be good the next 5 starts so you get him in. And how aggressive do you think people should have been on with Kade Anderson?
I think very.
Yeah.
You don't have that many impact players coming up later. He could be, David Price in his rookie year, good. He could be that level. On top of that, you look at his outing, his debut. It was against the Cubs.
Yeah.
It was a very tough ask for your major league debut, and he was pitching well until the very end of that one there too.
I watched the first 3 or 4 innings, and I was pretty darn impressed.
Yeah, and just look at look at what he was doing. Look at the draft pedigree, everything kind of points to that there.
You like the 37% K- walk in AA?
I think that's good.
I
don't have my translations handy, but I think that's good. I'm looking now to see, I kind of want to see what Anderson's schedule's looking like here for the rest of the way. I'm pulling that up right now.
Yeah, I know this week it's at Toronto because I already looked at that, but I don't know what the week after that is.
So the takeaway from that is no strikeouts against Toronto. Just keep that in mind. That is one thing that he might be hurting with a little bit there.
Toronto team doesn't strike out. Interesting. All right.
They've been that way for a couple of years now. A's though, and it's in Seattle, then at Sacramento, then the following week. Don't love that at Coors Field to finish. So
all right.
Not finish, but in the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
The thing is, the Mariners are probably going 6-man pending what happens to Bryan Woo. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, although Bryce Miller might just get out of there. It's been rough.
Yeah. It sure has. I mean, that's the thing. Kirby is not very good. He was terrible again last start out.
Man, that's been a tough. The George Kirby season's been every start is just a battle. It's just a grind. He never has just feel like he never has a really easy, smooth start.
And especially on the road. Road, he's been pretty rough lately. The homers have really kicked in lately, although Milwaukee did it to him without homering because they're Milwaukee, because that's what they do, but still. And
the Bryce Miller stuff is so weird because his whip's still good, his ERA is still pretty good, but this last 6-7 starts have been, he's got 5 in there. He's getting up more than 4 runs. He gave up 5, 5, and 4 the last 3 outings. He really was rolling early when he was hurt, and he came up in, I think, middle of May. It's really good for a long stretch, and now it's just been really bad. I just wonder if something's going on there.
Yeah, me too.
So Kade Anderson looked like in the main event, about a little more than half the bids were triple digits. Looks like kind of the happy zone was 80 to 110 right in there. And that's kind of what I expected. Teams that had over $100, this is the time to empty it. There were a couple of bids over 300, someone who, if you had 350, $400, what else are you going to do besides use it right now? There were a couple of wins in the 20s, but those were pretty rare. Almost everything was 70s, 80s, 90s, and over 100.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And it should be, as much as people can afford, bear.
Yeah.
Because, there's some people that are going to want to make sure, okay, I want to have $20, $30 for the last month, $50. I think is your benchmark usually $50 for the last month?
Mine used to be 75. Now it's about 50. I think 50 on September 1's a pretty good spot where you can get a couple pieces you need. You're not going to get stuck with any zeros. I think 50, that's so right now we have 4 FAABs left. So after tonight, so there's 5 weeks left. So 4 FAABs left. I think if you got $50, $60 right now, you're in really good shape.
Yeah, I think so too.
And even if you got 30 or 40, you're in pretty good shape. You just don't want to be at like 6 because you're going to get outbid on anybody you want. You might be able to slide some dollars in, but in an active league, you're just not going to get anybody you really want, especially on the pitching side.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Who else did you like this week? I actually thought it was a weirdly interesting pitching week. There was Andrew Painter, who you mentioned earlier, has been really good. He's available in some leagues, a lot of 12-teamers as well. Grayson Rodriguez, after the came back, had a really kind of a few rough outings, been really good lately. I thought he was interesting. Mike Burrows is pitching really well in Houston, the minors, so maybe he gets called up. We were really excited about him preseason. He was terrible, and then has been good there. And then there's a lot of interesting 2-steps that were all kind of scary, but potentially upside. Max Scherzer, that one really scares me. I don't want that one. But Jose Urquidy pitched really well this week. He had like 7 strikeouts. He gets Texas and at Minnesota. George Klassen for the Angels, who pitched really well this week. He's got 2-step Cleveland and Philly. Chris Bassett's got 2 this week. Carson Wisenhunt, but I thought Urquidy and Klassen especially were the 2 guys that I thought of the kind of fringy 2-step pitchers, ones that I was willing to take a shot on.
Painter, Urquidy. I picked up a Jacob Lopez share. I feel good about that, actually. He's pitched really well for him.
He has pitched really well lately. I'm always scared of Sacramento starts, but he has pitched really well lately.
The thing I like about Urquidy is that the White Sox use an opener in front of him. So that gives us a better chance at stealing a win, because he's not a guy that's going to go like 7. You're hoping that he goes 5.
Yeah. He's been very good with the strikeouts since he started back up. But he threw 6 innings last start, only 2 hits, 8 strikeouts. He was really efficient, so that's how he got through 6. But you're right. In an opener front him, he can go 4 or 5. I thought that was an interesting one. Do you like George Klassen at all in Angels land? It seems like their new ownership and everything has kind of been turning around some pitchers here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Klassen, but same sort of thing. And Paul Sporer got him in yogurt, in my yogurt league. So, smart. The pitcher guy is getting him that you have my attention.
I'm intrigued, but the walks scare the crap out of me with him.
Yeah, the Angels still scare the crap out of me, even though I think they're less pasty eatery than they have been. Ever since they switched the GM, I've been a little bit encouraged about how they're running the team.
But 13 innings his last 2 starts. So the 12th and the 18th, he's given up 2 runs total, 12 strikeouts, 4 walks across that stretch. I watched a little bit of the game against Houston. He looked really, really good in that start. Obviously, only have 1 hit. Obviously, looked good. But I think he's coming around a little bit. But every time I look at him, the walks do give me some trepidation there.
Yep. Nice week, by the way, Houston. There, you had the Angels and A's at home, and you lost 4 out of 6.
That seems impossible. Yeah, that's
including an 18-3 game,
and they were up 6-0 today.
Yeah,
the A's scored. I saw Paredes hit the home run. I'm like, oh, this game's over. I flipped over. I think probably the Dodgers game, and I flipped back, and the A's scored 6 runs I think 6 in the 5th, and I was like, holy crap! It came out of nowhere. It was interesting. There was an overturned strike 3 challenge by the A's that kind of get that inning started. That guy got on base, and all of a sudden they started rolling, and then Servant hits the 3-run homer, and all of a sudden they were moving.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. Mariners are 7 games under 500. Every team is at least 44 games, minus 44 in run differential.
That's the number that, as you look at the Saints, that's the number that really sticks out. Just how far under all those teams are.
Yeah, I mean the A's are in a different universe, but still, it's. Meanwhile, the Royals have won 8 in a row, so it's a world gone mad. I don't understand baseball sometimes. The Royals and the Tigers were all set up to make this improbable wild card run, and they're still plus 73, but they got swept by the Royals and they've lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, the Royals winning 8 in a row is wild. And the Michael Garcia thing sucked. Like he comes back for 3 games, then hurts his hamstring. That one was a bummer. Those are the kind of the names I liked at starters. Was there anybody else starting pitching wise? I felt like there were but 4 or 5 names. That's more than we normally get. I felt like if you didn't get Kade Anderson, there was an opportunity to grab someone that was at least remotely interesting at starter.
Yeah. I think we hit the high notes there.
Yeah. Klassen was added in 25 leagues. Arcadian 51 with a max of 31. Most of the bids were kind of in the 8 to 12 range. I think people were a little bit aggressive with him, but weren't going too crazy there. There's some David Peterson bids. His velocity's been up a little bit now that he's in Chicago. But those are the names. Obviously, Kade Anderson was the big one. That's the last. I think it's the last triple-digit big spend we got this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, between the Baez last week, if you needed offense, Kade Anderson this week, if you needed pitching, those are the two guys we were waiting for. I
think. Any other triple-digit bid is more born out of desperation than anything else,
or a weird drop. We had Yohan Duran dropped in the league, so you might get a couple of those.
How much did he go for in that league?
The league is so weird. Nothing. He went for like $30. It's the weirdest bidding league, and some weeks it goes crazy. Some weeks nobody bid. It's very interesting. Do you know the only other bid this week besides Kenners and the $100 bid? He was dropped in one league. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then because Vlad also missed all this time this past week. He still hasn't homered at home. That's crazy.
It's August 23rd. He hasn't homered at home. That is, he went for 155 in the league where he was dropped. So it's I get it. If you're going to bet on someone to get hot for 5 weeks, there's no better bet than that, right?
Yeah, at least he'll probably play. Maybe not actually, because he could be shut down. It's possible.
I had George Springer available in the league. Speaking of Toronto, he was available in my main event. It was the only one he was available in. He went for $75. The backup bid was 71, I think. No, that was the backup bid was actually
at least.
No, it was lower than that. It was actually 19. I was looking at a different one. Sorry, it was 19. I think I was the 19. I didn't have enough money. I would have really liked him. It was from someone who had made two moves all year too. So somebody actually woke up and made some moves.
Was that the rogue drafter?
It was. He did not drop Robbie Snelling to pick him up though. Still has Robbie Snelling.
Unbelievable. Did he drop someone still alive?
And is in fifth place too, believe it or not. Yeah, he dropped Nick. He dropped Nick Castellano.
Okay.
And Thomas White, the Marlins pitcher.
Tommy Tanks?
Not Tommy Tanks. Not Tommy Tanks. A Thomas White Marlins pitcher. Is that right?
He just has he's a pitching prospect that's also out for the year.
Well, he's dropped now.
Have at him, boys.
Strangest year I've ever seen anybody run. And the team, it's too bad. If he ran the team, he could have won the league. He actually turned out to be a pretty good.
Clearly, he had a lot of talent on the team too.
He did. He took 4 zeros on offense this week. I looked. Tough. Wow. What about relief pitching this week, Jeff? Was there anybody we had a couple weeks where the relievers were kind of interesting? Not this week. Justin Martinez, the Arizona guy who throws really, really hard, but has had some walk issues and injury issues, is back with the team. Maybe he could slide into a role there. We've seen Ben Joyce kind of slide into a role with the Angels, so maybe he kind of gets similar there. Nate Pearson in Kansas City, maybe he's sharing with Steven Cruz there. And then Tanner Scott, at least in 12 teamers with Diaz going on the IL. Dave Roberts mentioned that when he does come back, he's going to throw low leverage innings for a little bit. So even when he comes back, you got a little bit of leash with Tanner Scott. He was only 68% rostered in 12s because he had been dropped when Diaz came back. So I thought that if you had him available in 12, he was clearly the best bid this weekend.
Trying to find where he was available in one of my leagues. I'm trying to find which one it was, but I think it was the auction championship, believe it or not.
Oh, interesting.
And he went for 84.
Yeah,
there.
Makes sense.
Tanner Scott we're talking about.
Yes.
Tanner Scott would, I'd say bid with confidence, but it is Dave Roberts we're talking about here, so semi-confidence, but easily as good of an investment as you're going to find right now at this time of the year.
And I think it helps that they have Vesia there, so they can throw him the lefty spots a little bit earlier if they need to. But some in the chat mentioned Daniel Duarte with the Mets with the thought that maybe Kodai Senga doesn't get it done fully. Daniel Duarte's been insane so far.
He has
0.82 ERA, 0.59 WHIP. The strikeouts aren't huge, but he's been really good. I still think Senga's got a little bit of a rope here, though.
Yeah, did give up the homer today. Senga did, but Senga also had 2 saves this week. So
yeah, that was the Tristan Peters walk-off, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Quick question: Edwin Diaz, does he pitch again this year?
I think so, but not in a capacity that's important for fantasy owners.
Okay.
It was a neck, right? I think they're going to do everything they can to get him back. But the fact that while he's on the IL, this is going to be a lower leverage role. I don't think they're trusting him in the ninth anytime soon, at least for our purposes.
I agree. Yeah. You probably heard it just craning his neck, turning around to see all those rockets hit off.
Yeah, he was not. It was not working. The fastball was really straight. The slider was not as good as it has been. It's just been a weird year for him.
It has. And the funny thing is, he looked good in his rehab assignment.
Yeah. And he looked good. Like I was there the first night he came back and he looked pretty good. He gave up a couple of hits, but he kind of looked like it was sharper and it went away pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah, his whip's 2.56 on the year. That's not going to get done.
No, it's not.
I thought this was a weird week of offense in FAAB. It was one of those weeks where like, oh, if somebody got dropped in your league, great. Otherwise, you were kind of filling spots or playing streamers. I thought the A's were interesting. We have Jeff McNeil we joke about, but he's been hitting for average. He gets all righties this week. They're all at home. Max Muncy, who's just kind of falling into playing time for the A's. Max Muncy, sorry, this has been falling into playing time just because everybody's hurt. We mentioned Jacob Wilson on the IL this week. They just don't have any players left. He's second and third base eligible, all home, homered today to win the game. So he had at least getting some momentum there. And also Carlos Cortez. We talked about him earlier in the season, but they get 7 righties this week. I thought the A's hitters were interesting just because, I guess 6 righties. A's hitters were interesting just based on schedule and kind of a stream play this week.
Let me translate. It was a gross week for hitters. This week, especially in 15-teamers. Ildemargo Vargas, however you pronounce that, Vargas for the Diamondbacks is the guy I added in a couple leagues just because I don't know if we'll see Ketel Marte for the rest of this year. The
playing time is just pretty locked in for him right now.
Yeah, granted, Vargas struggled since that hot stretch he had earlier this year, but he's in a good lineup and a pretty decent place to hit. I think that's at least got some value.
Yeah, I thought the one I was attacking this week is actually Estuary Ruiz in 12-teamers. He was available in a lot of 12-teamers. He gets 4 lefties this week. If you need steals at this point of the year, like he's going to play at least 4 times this week, maybe pinch run a couple of times. This is a week when you can deploy Ruiz. He's a guy that could get 4 or 5 steals in a week and really kind of flip some standings there. I thought he was a big target when he was available just based on the stream of this week.
Yep.
And again, obviously, you have to need steals for that to be important.
Yep. I bid on Luke Keschel and Spencer Jones in one of my 12s and got outbid. And so I ended up with got nothing and liked it.
Pretty interesting bats available this week, though. Keschel's been great lately, and Spencer Jones, we mentioned earlier, should be, I think, rostered everywhere. He's just locked into a lineup spot, as we said before, and hitting the ball hard, even though he does strike out still a lot.
Yep. I did not have a long enough waterfall in that league, but I also didn't really have like screaming needs. So I really just kind of limited my bids to guys that I thought could really help me right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did as well, with the thought that these last 4 weeks, I'm going to want some 2-step pitchers. I'm going to want some other streamers, that sort of thing. I want to be able to outbid some people, especially in 12-teamer, where you might get a couple interesting drops as well. Did you like a thought of either a Will Smith or a Kyle Teal stash this week? We talked about second catcher and 15-teamers has been rough in a lot of spots. We found some guys, but other guys have not been great. I had Eduardo Valencia in some leagues. He's hit well, but just doesn't play enough. Yeah. Do you like maybe taking a 0 this week on Smith, or maybe a half week of zeros with Teal? I think Teal, they're both going on rehab starting on Tuesday. I think Teal's probably closer based on how long he's been out than Smith. I think Smith's probably going to need 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. But did you like a stash on them this week?
I'll be honest. I'm kind of gun shy on Teal because of the setback he had, how bad the injury was. They're talking about maybe being season ending at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't go after him this week.
And he was doing pretty much nothing when he played. He was hitting $190. So, I mean, obviously it's a pretty big prospect, but it's not like he was blowing the doors down in the majors either.
Yeah. I kind of think that I saw a note, our note on Will Smith suggests that maybe September 1st will be the call up for him just when rosters expand. The thing about the Dodgers is they know they're going to the playoffs. So they don't really, even though they have a need right now, knowing that Dalton Rushing is out, they're like, we'll just go with Fiducia and Rortvedt. We'll find another X-ray at some point in time. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of crazy, by the way, that they keep making these trades with the Rays. But it's almost like Friedman worked for the Rays at one point in time. Oh, he did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I like it. Just if you have a really bad second catcher that's going 1 for 10 on the week, I think it's interesting because those guys are going to be better than that even if they don't play full time. So I liked it if you needed it, if the fit worked out well there. Any love for Alec Thomas in Dodger Land? I think they can fix the once interesting batting average speed play.
I'm interested in observing.
Yeah.
I didn't really go after him, but
he should get a pretty good run in center field, right? Like they don't really have anybody else to play center field if he's not playing.
With Pages out, I mean, it does make sense. I think that makes a lot of sense. I didn't do it, but it does make a lot of sense. Just like I think it makes a lot of sense for them to take chances on like guys like Seth Halverson from the Rockies. Didn't work out this first time. They sent him back down. But, now you actually have to make sure I'm not talking out of turn. That he only made one appearance for the Dodgers. So I can't say it didn't work out, but he's back. But he is back in the minors right now. That's the Dodgers are that type of team that they can go in and fix somebody like that.
The name I liked this week that I looked for in all my leagues was someone that was up early in the year. We talked about him. He got called back up when Ketel Marte went on the IL. Jose Fernandez in Arizona has played the last 5 of the last 6 games for them. He is a intriguing speed power guy. Doesn't strike out a ton either, but had last year had 17 homers and 12 steals. This year in the minors, 7 home runs, 11 steals. Had 8 steals in his time with Arizona so far. Hits the ball pretty well. I thought it was interesting. He's eligible at first, third, and short as well. So I like that. I thought it was an interesting 15-team piece if you needed kind of someone to cover middle and corner.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I was talking about Vargas. Maybe Fernandez was a better pickup.
Yeah. I think they probably both end up working out. They probably both end up playing a bunch. Maybe one of them was playing. Now they both do. But I like the multi-eligibility. I like the upside with Fernandez. He's 22 years old. This is the kind of guy that can maybe get into a hot power speed streak and kind of help you out too.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Anybody else you like? That was kind of my list. I didn't have a ton on offense. I looked really hard on offense all week. Someone in the chat mentioned Brett Bateman. We talked about him last week leading off for Toronto. So I think that does work as well. Week. Yeah, he had a good
the Yankees announcers. I was driving home from Vegas, and at one point I started listening to that game, and they were extolling Bateman's virtues. They were talking him up a little bit there because he had a good series against them.
Yeah, I think he had over 300 for the week, so I had him in some lists as well. But it was it's as we're going to see down the stretch here, you just kind of have to play the half weeks and stream weeks, and we're looking for good schedules. How we talk about that when we do at the top of the show, we talk about who's good this week. I mean, who you pick up is you need playing time, you need good setups there because it's kind of a half week game at this point.
It is. It is. Tim Tawa was mentioned in the chat by Paul.
We've talked about him multiple times. He's a good pickup too if he was available.
Yeah, absolutely. Gets a little multiple positions and gets a little speed for the along with the power there.
And he went to Stanford, so a little bonus there as well.
Yeah, win for you.
Yeah, so cool. Anything else on your mind, Jeff? Anything else you want to talk about? We have no World Cup anymore. I feel like we're out of that. I'm out of my. We're not currently in our 3-5 tennis season right now. So
I was just going to ask. That was going to be the follow up question there. How are your football drafts going? Have you done any yet?
I have not done any. My first will be with you on Tuesday.
Okay. The Stake League. Yes.
Stake League. My probably my favorite league. The one that I want to win the most.
So I was at National Fantasy Football Draft Day this weekend, brand new event put on by my good friend Rick Wolf. Everybody who's been in the fantasy industry kind of knows him. A lot of us were there to support him. Interesting event. I hope that it picks up and there's more people there next year. But it was a good time.
So what did you draft? You said you did 4 drafts. Was it all in that contest, or what'd you draft?
Well, one of them was NFFC Online Championship.
Okay, so there were different that kind of stuff going on. Okay.
Yeah, and then I did 3 best ball drafts as well. There, and the thing is, they encourage people to do bring your league there. You do your draft here.
Gotcha. Okay.
There was a reception Thursday night. They had big parties. Had a big pool party Friday night. Had a big gala on Saturday night. It was a fun time. Really good time. So big thanks to Rick.
That's awesome.
For hosting it and making me part of it there. I had a good time. Did the show from there. Oh, you'll like this. I had Jeff Garcia on the show.
Oh, 49ers legend right there.
Yeah.
That comeback game against the Giants lives very, very well in my mind. That was an awesome comeback.
We talked about that.
Oh, did you really?
Yes. He was phenomenal.
Oh, good.
He was fantastic.
I always really liked Garcia. He was just San Jose State, right? So he's a Bay Area college guy. Yeah.
Played in the CFL forever before getting his chance. We were talking about how if the NFL had valued mobile quarterbacks as much as they do now, he would have probably done, made more money in this league.
Do you guys have him live on set with you?
Yeah, he was there for the weekend.
Not very tall, right?
He's taller than you think.
Really? Okay. I was wondering if he was or not.
He's still very fit.
I'm sure.
He coaches his sons a little. So that's
awesome.
That's pretty cool. And then we also had Earl Thomas on.
Oh, all right. Nice. Yeah, that's a Seahawks legend. We don't like that as much, but it's still a good player.
Yeah, I was just going to say, at least we didn't have Richard Sherman on. Although then you'd be conflicted because it's Stanford. But
anyway, back to the Niners too. So at least I have 2 good ones with Sherman. I actually like Sherman.
Yeah. But we did. Michael Crabtree's name might have come up in the conversation, so just throw that out there. But
don't try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree. It was not a good moment in my life.
Yeah,
one of the best football games of all time, though. That was the talent level on that field that day. That NFC Championship game, Niners Seahawks. It was just an unbelievable football game.
Yeah. Luis Robert. We'll finish with content here. Luis Robert or Spencer Jones? Who do you got? Drew is asking.
That's a really good one. Robert had 2 homers today. I think I'm still going to take Spencer Jones, but it's a very interesting one because they're actually weirdly kind of similar. They obviously have a lot of pop, strike out too much. Batting average is a concern. I think I'm going to take Spencer Jones because I think I'm going to get more stolen base. I don't think Robert's really going to run right now. I'm going to go Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones has 8 stolen bases. He's just kind of a sneaky speed guy. He's the second fastest sprint speed on the Yankees, believe it or not, behind
because he's so big. You don't think he's that fast.
You just don't think, right? He really can move. Robert's only got 2 steals in the year. I just don't think he's running. He's had so many injury issues. I think it's close, but I'm going to take Spencer Jones.
Me too.
Yeah. I like watching Spencer Jones play. Fun guy to watch. And I just I didn't know how fast. I knew he had the steals, but I didn't know how fast he was until I started watching games.
Yeah. I picked him up for the stolen bases as much as the power in one of the leagues I grabbed him.
I enjoy watching the Yankees. I enjoy watching Jones hit. I enjoy watching Ben Rice hit. I know Lombard made 3 errors this weekend, but he's really fun at shortstop. It's been a little rough on the offensive side recently, but the 3 errors a week, but he's really fun to watch as well. They're a fun watch. And they have so many good pitchers. Like every time you throw it, there's someone good pitching for them always.
For sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I appreciate everybody listening. Everybody listening on the audio version, watching us live. We appreciate any way you do watch us or listen to us. Really appreciate that. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up on Twitter. Feel free to hit us up anywhere else as well. We'll answer whatever we can. Other than that, I think we're good to go. Back at you next week, talking a lot more baseball. It's going to be down to the nitty gritty here. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of every stat matters. I feel like every AB and every inning pitch kind of gets ramped up. It's pretty good. So it's a fun time of year, a little stressful, but a fun time of year. We look forward to talking it through with all you guys. So everybody have a good week and a really good fantasy week, and take care.